This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Monique Russell. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am simply fabulous, Angel. And you?
I am excellent. Caribbean in the house. You're hearing it.
What? Massive.
Well, do tell me, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in the Atlanta, Georgia area.
All right. What's the weather like there?
Oh my God, it is cold. I don't know what's been happening these past few days, but it is cold. The other day it was in the 20s, so between the 20s and 40s.
Ouch.
It's just too much for me. Yes.
Yes. It's actually cold in the Caribbean as well. Like, the mornings are pretty cold. Not in the 20s, but, we had to put on jackets.
You need to stop because you are putting on jackets for 60 degrees. You can't do that.
Well, Monique, do tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time in history?
Well, leadership development is responsible for hooking us up together. I help leaders and their teams to feel valued and appreciated with my communication strategies and their tools to help them build better relationships. And so I hosted a Forbes recommended leadership conference called LeaderCast Alpharetta. And my dear friend Hennika was hosting. Yeah, she was hosting in Kingston, LeaderCast Kingston, all the way in Jamaica. So our gift for teaching leaders and helping folks be confident communicators brought us together, and hence she connected both of us.
Sweet. So let's dig into that then. Who did you learn the ability to be a good friend from?
Well, I learned that from my mother, actually, who has been an educator all her life. So the thing is, she actually never sat down and say, hey, listen, read this book about friendship or, about being a good leader or being a good person. She never just sat down and said, watch this video. I would be doing my chores around the house and focused on other activities. And she would be over there, helping people. She'd be listening to her tapes, Jim Rohn and all of those other folks on these cassette tapes. And sometimes she would go out and she would just be helping family, friends. And to be honest with you, sometimes I would be like, Mommy, why are you doing so much and going above and beyond for folks sometimes who really didn't reciprocate, to be honest. And then later on in my life, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that. If I'm reaching out and you're not reaching back, boom, keep it moving. Nobody has time for that. But but to be honest, later on, I started running into people, different family members, different friends, and sometimes they would open a door for me or they would make an introduction to someone, for me to get some work done. Or I remember one time I actually got my stay at one of the upscale resorts comped. And each time this would happen, people would say, I would never forget what your mother did for me. Or they'll say, I'll never forget how she supported me in this or that, or because of your mother, I didn't take my life. And I was like, what? So I realized, not immediately, but later, that I was benefiting from all the things that she did. What I was thinking was just grunt work. But really, she was just being a servant leader. So I was absorbing and observing what she was doing, and I modeled it.
Super proud of you. When you look at what you've accomplished as a result of your inputs as well and what you've done, and let's get into the communication side. It's pretty intriguing to see the input of a mother, I believe.
Oh, definitely. And that's why I say I do the same thing in my own life. And I tell parents and I teach leaders. A lot of times I do work starting off on the professional side, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes here. But a lot of what I teach is also applicable on the personal side. So I always tell people that, what, the do as I say, not as I do rarely works. My mom never intentionally, sat me down and say, this is what you need to do to be a good person. She demonstrated it with her life, and your kids are watching. And I know the saying, as the mom goes, so goes the family. And it's passionate, something that I'm very, very passionate about because I have seen it in my own life.
Very powerful. Ooh, you have me all caught up in your voice. I'm like, I'm supposed to ask another question here. Yeah, definitely. With children, more is caught than taught. Now, where's the best place for someone that is intrigued and interested to find out more about clear communications?
Well, I am all over the internet as the Clear Communication Coach. So you could find me at clearcommunicationsolutions.com. That's my website. You can find me on LinkedIn at Clear Communication Coach. You can find me on Instagram at Clear Communication Coach and Facebook at Clear Communication Coach.
Love it. All right. Let's switch gears for a moment. Ooh, that was an intense session. Let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you now into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Please do tell me, what is your earliest childhood memory, Monique?
Earliest childhood memory was when I was doing ballet and I had a performance and I was supposed to do my final cartwheel. We would go back 1, 2, and I would do my final cartwheel, and there wasn't enough. I didn't know if there was enough space at the end of the stage for me to do my cartwheel and actually land. And I had to look and I had to guess. And I said, you know what? I'm going for it. If I fall off the stage, I'm just going to fall off the stage. And I flipped. I did my cartwheel and I landed beautifully in my final position with my hands in my hair. And it was just great.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Why is it so clear? Probably because it was something that I enjoyed, or I remember how I felt during that time. I remember being on stage and feeling excited and being seen and supported. So I think it's so clear because it's such a powerful and positive memory that I felt proud of.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
How do I see that memory connecting to who I am today? Well, I'll tell you, when I go on stage and when I speak, or when I'm in a small group and I speak and I'm able to share and teach and be passionate, I come alive the same way I came alive when I was doing the ballet. And I don't do ballet now, but I love to dance. So, soca, salsa, reggae, calypso. So the dancing piece, there's a connection. The presentation piece, there's a connection. And just especially when you have an audience who is open to receiving that message. I mean, I tell you, I was going through some old papers earlier today, and I came across a feedback form from a conference that I delivered 11 years ago. And I looked at the bottom. One of the final questions was, do you have anything to share with the presenter? And one of the responses was that how, even though she knew this part of the conference, which was vision boarding and vision casting, was designed for kids, because it was a adult conference, but focused on kids, she said that she now knows what was placed deep in her heart. In her heart. It wasn't designed for her. It was designed for her child. But because she came to the conference, it connected her to what was deep in her heart, her little girl heart. And for me, I'm even getting emotional talking to you about it,
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think Even if we look deeper into the picture of you doing that cartwheel, a lot of life has to do with that inner child communicating to others, to yourself as well, that, maybe I may not, and then deciding to take action, to take the risk, if you would. And to see that as a child, you did that, and now you're on many stages, and you're doing that, and not that alone, but helping others do that. For me, that's pretty fascinating as well.
Yeah, I agree.
If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Man, favorite song. I don't even know what I was listening to be honest. Back then, it could have been a mix of anything. I was into soca, I was into reggae, calypso.
So this is like secondary, just about to enter secondary school, is it? That
I
age?
probably 12. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't even. Probably was in sixth grade. Probably going into seventh.
Yes.
Cool. So, I thought I was the boss. I thought I was woman. I might have been listening to Barris. I might have been listening to we used to play this song in the house, Phil Stubbs, called Stress.
All right.
It's like Monday stress, Tuesday stress, ooh, Thursday stress. I mean, it was the chorus, but it had a nice little beat and a rhythm. I don't know if that was what I was listening to,
But that comes
but
out.
it's up. I was also into Bob Marley a lot.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. Tell me one song from Barris. I've never heard someone say a song from Barris on the podcast. Does the one come to mind?
Oh my gosh. Hold on. There's so many. They're gonna talk, they're gonna say a lot of things about us.
Poop, 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 poop. Love it. Ooh, all right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Monique,
ready.
Monique, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, my two boys.
There we go. Are you married?
Yes.
So you have two boys. Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Absolutely. I'm so great.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, never.
What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
That depends. If I'm on a project, way more than 8.
All right.
But
said,
no. If I'm not, then it's probably under 8.
All right. If you had to share with us, Monique, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Monique Russell, what would you say that is?
Everything is in divine order.
Love it. Monique, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Just love to tell your audience, don't give up, believe in yourself. Communication skills and tools are right at your fingertips. And remember that you are amazing. If you hadn't heard it today, I'm telling you today.
Love it, Monique Russell. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.